if you aim scoring 400 over 400, if you minus 20% from 400, that is 20 divided by 100 times 400, you find out that that is 80. So if you minus 80 from 400, it is 320. So that is you wanting to score 400 over 400. So you end up having 320. So if you add 10 or minus 10 from 320, you either have between 310 and 330. So you see that it is pertinent that you always aim higher. Welcome to my channel. My name is Paul Udom, and today we'll be discussing on one of the very important questions that was asked by Buttercup. He or she said, please do a video on how to ace the 2023-2024 Jamb exams. So this video is about acing your joint admission and matriculation board exams in the 2023-2024 academic session. Before you can probably ace your exams, there are three things I would want to talk about. I call it the ME steps, the MME steps. Okay, the first M, which is mindset, encompasses all the information, all your wants and all your needs and all your fears that might make you fail or pass your exams. The second M, which is material, encompasses all the material that you need in order to pass your exams. And the E, which is the end game, talks about what's the end game of acing your Jamb exams looks like. Mindset is a very, very important stuff when it has to do with any exams. We're talking about your WAEC exams, your Jamb exams, your aptitude test exams, any exams you are going forward to write. Always try as much as possible to keep a positive mindset. Now, if you have a negative mindset, that exams is already a failure, because they say, as a man thinks, so is he. So you should try as much as possible to have a positive view of yourself. Negative views can cripple you and cripple your attempts to succeed, to have a good result after writing Jamb or during writing of the Jamb, or even before and after. So always try as much as you can to have a positive mindset. That is the first criteria. Now, believe in yourself. Believe that you can do it. But I would always tell you something, that having 300 over 400 is not a criteria for having admission. But getting 300 over 400 is a right step towards admission into your institution of choice. Okay, so try to believe in yourself. Try to cast out self-doubt, because sometimes the highest harm you can do to yourself is doubting yourself. People can doubt you, your family members can doubt you, your church members can doubt you, your friends can doubt you, but don't ever doubt yourself. But I know there are other doubts anyway, because a friend of mine just got admitted into University of Abuja, but because of her financial background, she kind of will not be able to go to school. Now, before you start writing any exams, including Jamb, you need to make sure that you have the materials necessary for writing these Jamb exams, and one of those materials is your Jamb syllabus. Now, the Jamb syllabus is something that is very, 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 very much underrated. Preparing for Jamb is different from preparing for WAEC. WAEC and Jamb are two different things. Now, when you're preparing for WAEC, which is your secondary school WAEC, or the GC, the General Certificate exams, it requires that you learn how to define certain stuff. Okay, define respiration. Respiration can be defined as you're supposed to write that down. But in Jamb, nobody's going to ask you to define anything. They're just going to ask you, okay, the chemical substance which is responsible for pregnancy is called dash, or it's called something, and you're supposed to know what that hormone is for science student, biology students. So that is why Jamb and WAEC are different. Even objective Jamb is not the same with objective WAEC. WAEC have their syllabus, which is what you've been taught from SS1 to SS3. Jamb has their own syllabus, which they give you when you're registering for Jamb. So get those Jamb syllabus. Jamb syllabus is what Jamb wants you to know for their exams. Jamb don't want you to know everything, so they will not bore you with so many information that WAEC would want to bore you with. Okay, so Jamb will just go specifically to certain parts of your textbook, to certain topics in your textbook. They're not going to ask for all the topics in physics. And make sure that you finish the Jamb syllabus, because sometimes people look at the Jamb syllabus and say it's too big. It's not too big. Just try and condition yourself that every day I'll finish a topic in the Jamb syllabus, like a topic. The idea of finishing a topic in a day is finishing the syllabus and then going back again. Okay, you get? It's not about finishing it and say you've done. No, you're supposed to finish it and go back, finish it and go back. So if you can finish it and go back 3 times simultaneously, then you are good, because that will take us to our next one. You need to have a textbook. Now, there is no way you can read Jamb syllabus without a textbook. So you need to make sure that you have your complete textbooks. I'm talking about English language, chemistry, physics, biology for science students like us. I don't know what the combination for art students is. I don't mean going to the library to get to read the book. No, I mean having it. Because there are certain times that you wake up in the middle of the night and you don't feel like sleeping again, and you'll be like, oh, I wish I had a textbook. Now, that period, you can probably use that night to read some parts. How do you prepare for exams with that textbook? Even if you want to borrow from somebody that is not writing the exams. One thing I've discovered about human beings and having textbook is that if you're using a textbook, even if the person have like 5, 6, 7 chemistry textbook, like only chemistry textbook 6, when you collect one, that is when the person would want to read that particular textbook that you've collected. So try to have your own, you get? And if you're borrowing, like I said, borrow from somebody that is not using that textbook, at least during the period of your preparation of the exams. You get? You need a jotter, you need a notebook, you need calculators, you need plenty pen, pencil, you even need a math set, whether you're doing math or not. The end game is what? To pass your exams, right? Whenever you have your exams, you should have an end game in mind, like what is the score that you intend to have. Or for instance, medicine and surgery, probably you need like 320 or 350. From my own experiences, I've discovered that you always get 20, you always get less than 20% of your intended score plus 10. What do I mean by that? You get, if your intended score is 320, for instance, 20% of 320, you say 20 divided by 100 times 320. Your department. So you see why we should always aim higher, because even if you aim scoring 400 over 400, if you minus 20% from 400, that is 20 divided by 100 times 400, you find out that that is 80. So if you minus 80 from 400, it is 320. So that is you wanting to score 400 over 400, so you end up having 320. So if you add 10 or minus 10 from 320, you either have between 310 and 330. So you see that it is pertinent that you always aim higher. It happened to me. That is even where I got my calculations from, because what I was aiming for was what I got, but minus 20% plus or minus 10. Okay, so it is good to aim higher whenever you're preparing for your exams. No, so how do you prepare yourself? How do you aim at what you want? You get, there are past questions. Get the past questions and test yourself as often as possible. After going through your textbook, after going through the Jamb brochure, after going through your Jamb syllabus, do as much as you can to look at the Jamb past questions. Solve as many years as possible. If you can, solve all the years. Okay, thank you for watching this video. Like, I am back in Nsukka, and my compound is always very loud, but I'm happy that at least today the noise is a little bit reduced. I don't know if you heard a little noise towards the middle of the video. That is my compound for you. So thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please click on the subscription button. And thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to all my returning viewers. Like, you people are great, okay? You people are wonderful. You make me wake up in the morning. I want to create new videos and post on the internet. You make me wake up in the morning, and I'm happy that I have a YouTube channel. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.